Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our council meeting on June 22nd. Calling the meeting to order, and first up is adopting the agenda. So a recommendation that the agenda for June 22nd, 2026 regular council meeting be accepted and passed.
Actually, we need to amend that. We want to bring up the infrastructure report to be immediately under presentations, because BM Ross is making a presentation on the Mount Forest drainage study. And
Okay.
so item 15,
C1.
15C1 needs to be brought up under BM Ross's presentation. I'm sorry, I didn't let you know that.
Okay, but we aren't adding anything or deleting anything from the
No.
agenda. We're just
Reordering it.
changing the order.
Yep.
Okay. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Councilor McCabe and Councilor Rankin, thank you. All those in favor? That's carried. We'll do disclosure of pecuniary interest on anything on today's agenda. I have none to declare. Councilor Rankin?
I have none.
Councilor Hearn?
None.
Thank you. Councilor McCabe?
I have none.
Councilor Burke?
I have none.
Okay, thank you. How are you making out, Sherry? Okay, we're just waiting a few moments here to make sure Sherry's in the thing before we go into a closed session here. Okay, we're going to go into a closed and a recommendation that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Wellington North go into a meeting at 5:33 p.m. It is closed to the public under subsection 239. (2001), specifically for item B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. Item C, a proposed or pending acquisition of disposition of land by the municipality or local board. And item D, labor relations or employee negotiations. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Councilor Rankin and Councilor Burke, thank you. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, so a rise and report recommendation that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Wellington North rise from a closed meeting session at 6:22, moved by Councilor Burke, seconded by Councilor McCabe. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And coming out of there, we have a recommendation. The Council of the Corporation of the Township of Wellington North receive report CAO 2026-009, 399 Eliza Street update, and the council approve the confidential direction to staff. Moved by Councilor Rankin, seconded by Councilor Burke. All those in favor? That's carried. Can you hear us, Councilor Hearn?
Yes, I can.
Lisa, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I can. The lag is terrible. So I'm gonna disconnect and
Okay.
reconnect when I have a minute here, so.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next recommendation that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Wellington North receive report HR 2026-002, the 2026 People Plan, and that Council approve the confidential direction to staff. Moved by Councillor McCabe, seconded by Councillor Burke. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. We have a recommendation here that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Wellington North receive report HR 2026-003, staffing update, and that Council approve the confidential direction to staff. Moved by Councillor Burke, seconded by Councillor Rankin. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And we have a recommendation that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Wellington North receive report CAO 2026-008, Wellington North Power Board of Directors update, and that Council approve the confidential direction to staff. Moved by Councillor Burke, seconded by Councillor McCabe. All of those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. The recommendation that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Wellington North receive the minutes of the closed meetings held on April 20th, 2026, May 4th, 2026, and May 19th, 2026. Could I get a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Rankin and Councillor McCabe. Thank you. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. We'll recess our meeting until 7 o'clock. Thanks, everybody. With our meeting, better turn. So again, welcome everybody. And we usually start our meeting off with O Canada. So please rise if you're able and join us for O Canada. And please sing out loud and drown me out. Thanks, everyone. We're now, I'm going to change the agenda a little bit and put off my county council update for later. And we'll start with the awards, recognitions, and declarations. So I'll maybe hand it over to you, Mike, if you can help navigate this for us.
A little too short for this thing. Good evening, Council. As you alluded to, we are here to recognize some of our local athletes for their outstanding achievements recently here. We have with us tonight the Wellington Heights Secondary School Special Olympics bocce team, some track and field athletes, 4 competitors from Rise Combat and Fitness, and Taylor Kruger, who represents Golden Tiger Gym and Handler. The last 5 athletes are all named to Team Canada for the Junior Kickboxing World Championships. So we'll get started with the Wellington Heights Special Olympics bocce team, and I believe Christine is here to say a few words about their accomplishments. Unless you have another representative that wants to do it.
Maybe Brittany can come also and do the track.
I didn't hear
A quick few words about the bocce team. We took a group of students to London, same with the track and field team, to Special Olympics provincials. This is the second year we've gone. Took a great group of athletes and wonderful peer helpers with them as well. It was a kind of very quick 2.5 days. All said and done, they represented our school so amazingly. They competed with great heart, determination, and perseverance. So I have to say I'm super proud of the bocce team. Anything you'd add for track and field?
The same for track and field. This is the first time we took a unified team to track and field, and they got to compete alongside another athlete. Everything was done together. So they'd both run 100 meters, hand off a baton. They both did each event, and it was a really awesome experience. And those guys walked away with a lot of medals around their neck at the end of the day. So, yes.
Just so everyone is aware of how they did, the bocce team won the silver medal. Last year, I believe it was gold they won, so that's 2 years in a row. It was one of the top teams in the province. For track and field, Caden Fraser and Faith Wild, as was alluded to, won a lot of medals. They won the gold medal in the standing long jump, silver in shot put, bronze in the 200 meter, and finished fourth in the 100. And Jason Davidson and Hannah Rumble won gold in the shot put, silver in both the standing long jump and the 200 meter, and bronze in the 100 meter.
Bocce team can come out.
So every athlete will have a photo taken with the mayor, and then for the team sports, we will do team photo as well after.
Hi, how's it going? You're good. Good. They were really all there.
Last year,
That's why we got us way too.
It might give me a minute.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, looking around that way. Mike, looking around that way. Yes.
I'll try to finish.
Oh, you wait, just go over there.
Stay up here.
Go on that side, bye.
Here, please. Savannah Coughlin. Now we got a poster for. Noah Schlosser. Patience. Nick Duxbury.
They were walking forward last time. So that's first. Last time.
Austin McComb. Just next to those. Good.
Thanks.
Start with.
Yeah.
All right, now you're looking clear. Great.
Aiden Fraser. Congratulations, Aiden. Okay. Jason Davidson.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, this. You look at Auntie? Good. Go back. This table. You'll take it. Just for 1 minute. Thank you.
Hannah Reynolds.
Oh, there's no other there.
All right. Dave Bond is here somewhere. Dave wants to come over and talk about his athletes.
Yeah, I think my coach going to Italy. No.
Okay.
Is that, yeah. You want to talk about your athletes and. Yeah, sure. Okay, so we have, actually, there's 5 that are going to Team Canada this year. 4 from Rise, and of course, Taylor from Golden Tiger, that all over the last year competed and trained with the Canadian team to qualify for the World Junior Kickboxing Championships in Italy. So they will be going to Italy in September to represent Canada at the World Junior Kickboxing Championships. So of course they will be joining 3 others from our gym that are unfortunately they're from Minto, so we don't recognize them as much as we recognize our own. But so we have Kieran Romanowski, who's a 3-time Canadian national champion. He won gold this year at nationals, and he qualified for the team. We have Logan Brooks, who is last year's Canadian national champion, but took silver this year at nationals. Thomas Russian, who is a 2-time silver medalist at nationals, and he made the team as well. And then Kennedy Ray, who is a gold medalist and longtime competitor, who's won provincials, this year's national champion, and she qualified for the team as well. And of course, Taylor, who won gold this year and became national champion, and will be representing her gym and everybody else as well at the World Championships. Yeah.
Logan Brooks. Okay. You. Preston. Yeah. Gotta be ready. That's Taylor Kruger.
You guys can get fighting together and photo together.
I don't stand a chance.
You can squeeze a little bit together, there's. You're listed.
That's it. Thank you for coming for the sports recognition. Feel free to stay if you want. If you don't want to, we completely understand as well.
Thank you.
I thought they were all from the Hartford Food Bank.
Feeling outnumbered, were you there?
Yeah, good. Oh, shit. For now, we can relax. People nice to meet you.
There's lots of seats in here now.
So we got few presentations this evening. The Worth Community Pantry, Hartford Food Bank, and then a presentation from me. It's listed this way. I'll maybe start with the Mount Forest Community Pantry. Doing the presenting, Gary?
Sir?
Are you doing the presenting?
Yes.
Okay.
Or straw.
Up to the podium whenever you're ready.
Thank you, sir.
The green light on there, Gary.
Yes.
Oh, you have that? Yeah, it makes my job a little, I'm not gonna read everything then. Beautiful. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, councilors, staff, and everybody else. My name is Derek Bridgewater. I'm the newest member of the community pantry in Mount Forest. Took the role of the manager since recently retired. Thank you for inviting us to your meeting so we can describe what we do and try, and I mean try to answer questions because I don't know everything quite yet. And our bus of supporters, I just heard, is stopped at Quality Homes. They broke down. I had 30, 40 supporters. They'll be here in an hour. I believe as I see that you've got our presentation. Thank you. And here we go. Thank you. Yeah. I'll just go through it quickly because I don't think you want to listen to me read. Been 30 plus years as an organization. It is completely volunteer a model, including governance and day-to-day management. We have at least 30 spectacular volunteers who contribute more than 70 hours. And I think that's a low number, 70 hours per week. We do all the jobs, essential roles, including client support, food gathering, inventory management, operational coordination. And we tried to maximize resources and direct funding towards the community impact. Our clients call and schedule on Mondays and Tuesdays so that they can pick up their pantry food on Tuesdays and Fridays. That's how we work. And our volunteers assemble and prepare the food hampers for client pickups. Each registered household receives a generous 1 week supply of food every 30 days. If there is a problem, what have you, we'll help them out if they've run short. But we are quite proud of being able to supply a healthy 1 week supply of food, because that's not the norm in their area. No offense to Arthur, I don't know what you do yet, but I will know. Client registration is efficient. and respectful. We just need to see their driver's license or any form of identification and a proof of address. And it's within a 10-kilometer radius. And they are working on boundaries. And I think there's a meeting tomorrow that I'm supposed to go to. And they're discussing that so that if they're not in the area, we can tell them where to go, because normally we don't know who's up and what's going on. So that's going to be good. And of course, when we're not helping, we're cleaning up, restocking, buying food, getting donations, etc. We currently support, I'm going to change this, it's actually over 300 registered client households. That breaks down to just over 1,000 children and just under 2,000 adults. As you can, it's quite interesting, these numbers. 41% of them are families, 32% are single individuals, and 17% couples, adults only. The service continues to rise, as you read in the newspapers. And the final quarter of 2025, we had 46 new clients registered. Early 2026 data reflects this same trend. And I did see that we had a 46% increase year to date in total served. Fundraising and grants. We receive $1,000 from North Wellington Township and $10,000 a month for and we do appreciate commitment from the last meeting we were at. Thank you. Wellington County, we received $2,000 to support rent costs. We are fortunate this year to receive a just under $10,000 grant from Kindred Credit Union, which we were lucky enough to buy a couple of laptops and printers and other equipment to help bring us into the 20th century, which was nice. We just appointed a fundraising organizer whose primary focus is expanding public fundraising opportunities and increasing community awareness. We're quite excited about that. And of course, and it's our businesses and community are very, very generous with their donations throughout the year. We're very, very fortunate to be living in a community like that. Our 2025 fixed operating costs there, our rent is just $16,000, utilities just under $3,000, phone, you see the numbers there, insurance. The total fixed expenses that we pay is $22,434. Our rent increases are 5% a year. Our current lease is expiring next July 27. Our food costs increased by 18% in 25 compared to 2024. Our year to date in 2026, the increase is 41% over the same period. It's very, very expensive. Real eye opener. Due to continued rising grocery costs and growing client registration, the pantry is projecting a potential 32% increase in costs for 2026. Support for fixed operating costs will allow the pantry to redirect community donations toward food procurement and where demand continues to rise. You can see the list there of projected 2026 fixed costs. It's up 1,000, 1,500 from last year. With the current lease ending in 2027, the pantry is considering a move to a more suitable location to meet the increasing community demand. The future facility must provide increased space to accommodate growing food volumes and rising food insecurity improved accessibility, ensuring barrier-free and safe access for clients with disabilities, and a secondary back entrance to support safe food receiving, improved logistics, and additional storage capacity. I look forward, I added a little note at the bottom. I look forward to working with the council for the continued success of our program. And thank you for having me tonight. I wrote that one.
Thanks, Derek, for coming and sharing that information with us. Maybe we'll see if council has any questions. Any questions from council? Okay.
Excuse me. Thank you very much for coming, Derek. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the work that you are embarking on as you're the newest member of the pantry. Let us know how we can help, and thank you for doing what you do in our community.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Councilor Burke.
Yeah, so I too thank you for presenting the costs associated and the numbers that you serve within our community. I find some of the numbers with regards to the increases and the volume of clients that you have staggering and disturbing at the same time. So thank you for what you do. If there are things that the township can help with, please come see me or all of council. As you know, I am supportive of trying to find a location for you folks.
Yes, we all are. Yeah.
Within the township, now knowing that the lease agreement is expiring very, very soon. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So, oh, sorry.
Any other?
I'd just like to add my thanks as well. The service that you provided, and I would like to work towards getting you a location of your own so that the money can, instead of going to rent, can go towards the food. And I think you've just done an amazing job. Thank you.
Yeah, they have. It is a well-defined tool that they have operating. My eyes were wide open going in. It's they're doing a fantastic job. But we just would like to find a new building.
Questions for Derek? I just had one, Derek, and that is, you alluded to, and I forget the percentage, but a significant increase in costs to the food side of it. You talk more about the fixed costs, but do you have sources of additional food, or how are you bridging that gap in terms of that increased cost?
We have our donations from organizations and private partners. When we do need something, we do have a few businesses that we deal with. One meat packing, where we're buying hamburger below their special prices, getting a good deal, that kind of stuff. The two grocery stores obviously are helping. And if we need to, or if we do, we do buy food, usually when it's on sale. We try to do when it's on sale through our local grocery stores.
Yeah. I'd also add that probably over the summer months, the community garden probably helps out quite a bit with the fresh vegetables to help residents and sort of bridge that cost as well.
They do. I just got an email from Daphne report where they're going to continue. Sorry, I didn't have a picture, but they have a stand whenever we give out our food, and they have all the vegetables, fresh vegetables and stuff like that. And we are working with the local potato grower and corn grower to we're trying to open up and try and find people that can help. Yep. That's the community gardens. Yeah. So I did talk to her, and I'm phoning her at the end of the week to discuss that, but they'll be back again, which is great with fresh food.
Thank you. I just have one more question. Organizations that put on something like a gala or any kind of meal, if they have leftovers, do you accept any of that?
That's a good question. I haven't heard of it. I can find out. I haven't seen it. I don't, I haven't experienced that yet, so I don't know the answer to that. I actually, now that you say that, there was something, maybe it was there was somebody that local was doing that, and the leftover foods did come to us, but now it's going somewhere else. I did remember hearing that. I've heard a lot of information in the last 2 months, and it's in and out. But yeah, we have to be careful. We want to make sure that the food is safe, of course, and healthy, and there are criteria for that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Thanks, Derek.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Next, we have the Arthur Food Bank, and I see a number of members of the Arthur Food Bank. And lots of
I made those. They didn't have an option.
Welcome. Whenever you're ready, please go ahead.
Perfect. All right. My name is Shauna, and I am the president at the Arthur Food Bank. Behind me, you see most of my board members. I have a couple that couldn't make it tonight. I don't know if my presentation is great as Mount Forest, but we'll go from there. So you can flip the slide, please. So our first slide, I just put about volunteers and our opening times. So on Tuesdays, we're open from 8:30 till 4 for admin and delivery day, as we do have some food that gets delivered to us. And then open for clients, we're open every Wednesday from 10 till 12, every Thursday from 10 till 12, and every Thursday from 6 till 8. We have 48 volunteers, which includes our 7 board members, which is a huge increase. So before the renovation at the Arthur Food Bank, we had about 16 volunteers. So it's about a 200% increase. So when we reopened at I call it the new and improved food bank in Arthur. So when we reopened there, we switched to a shopping model. So we needed more volunteers per shift. And then we also opened more times. So we were only open every Tuesday from 10 till 12 and once a month from 6 till 8. So we're open almost double the amount of times because our clients have increased that much. So we had to open more. So these are our registered families as of 2026. So these are the registered families. So 96 families, which turns out to be 137 adults and 91 children. That is the amount of families that have come to the food bank in 2026. So I've done it only from January, February, March, and April for the first 4 months of the year. So about 40% are children that are coming for the families, about 40% of it is children. Our numbers kind of are different from week to week, but I did like an average, which I think is on the next slide of how many people come. For the next slide for how many people come per month or per months. I did it January, February, March, and April. So just for the first 4 months. So an average of 54 families, which works out to be 128 people, 62 families in 2025, which is about 138 people, 73 families, which is 168 people. So for the 2-year increase, it's about 34% up in families, 30% in individuals, and about 18% family and growth. I do have, so from 24 to 25, the percentage up is 14% and 8% families 14% and people 8%. And for 25 to 26, it is up 34% and up 30% for people. So you can see the numbers just keep growing, which is very unfortunate, but there's no chance as it's going to go down, unfortunately. I didn't compare it to 2025 because we were not in the food bank in 2025. We were doing gift cards instead, as we were out of the space. So the numbers increased, but it was kind of unrealistic because those people didn't come back when we started giving out food. They just wanted gift cards. So I didn't want to compare the numbers to 2025 because I feel like it was unrealistic. So I kind of just did it this way in the number of families for the first 4 months because we were actually in the food bank for the first 4 months. So this is for grocery costs. So for 2024, our grocery costs were about 18.5. 2025, 21.7, and 2026, 28.2. So big increases every year, 17% from 24 to 25 and 29.5% from 24 to 26. From 25 to 26. And then for 24 to 26, it's about a 51.9% increase. It just keeps going up and up. The price of groceries, I'm sure if you shop, you know that the price of groceries is going higher and higher. So we try our best to purchase food at different places, which is actually, so we purchase most of our food from Foodland in Arthur because we try and stay local, right? All of our donors are local, which the donor portion is on the next slide after this. So we try and stay local because everything is donors are local. We do purchase some stuff from the Seed, which is in Guelph. So it is a nonprofit distribution center that makes things affordable for food banks, and they deliver to schools and things like that. So we do purchase some stuff from there. They deliver it right to the food bank. Any of like our hygiene products and stuff we purchase from IDA in Arthur. We work really well with them. They're great. They give us good deals and things like that. And then Foodland. Those are the three places we shop from. Sorry, I missed one. We purchase our meat from Parker Meats, actually. They give us a really good deal, so we get ground beef and sausage from them. So those are the 4 places that we purchase food at. But as you can see, the numbers just keep going up and up. Can you flip the slide, please? So donor trends. So from 24 to 25, we got a decrease of 26.2%. From 25 to 26, we had a bit of a recovery of 6.1. And from 24 to 26, there's still a 21% net decrease. Most of our donors, local churches, area businesses, just community individuals. We do get a grant from Wellington North. We do get food drives, from the schools and businesses, things like that. They do the car show. They've done it twice now in Arthur in September. We get all the sponsors. Each one of them make a very large donation to the Arthur Food Bank. That's everything. We don't get any grants, anything like that. Something we are looking into in the future, but as of now, all of our money comes from the businesses and churches and things like that. So this is a map of Arthur and Mount Forest, of our service area boundaries. So for the past 2 years, we've been doing a collaborative meeting with all the food banks in the area. So it's Arthur, Mount Forest, Center Wellington, Orangeville, Grand Valley, Clifford, Drayton, and Palmerston. I might have missed one. If I did, I'm sorry. So we meet up every couple months, and it's just kind of just sharing tips and tricks and tools and things like that. So in the last couple meetings, we've been making the boundaries because some of the boundaries were a bit wishy-washy for towns like Mount Forest and Arthur and things like that, because Arthur's definitely a bit tricky because if you live on one side of the road, you're coming to Arthur. If you live on the other side of the road, you could be Drayton or Palmerston or things like that. So when people come in to register for the food bank, we ask them for ID, and then another piece of whether it be a lease, a mail, something like that, just to prove that they live where they live, and make sure that they are in our district, because if not, we would then send them to wherever they were supposed to go. I think that's all I have for you guys. We do thank you for everything that you do for us. It's very much appreciated. And we would like to invite you anytime you're in the area to come down and see the new food bank and how we have it running and how we're doing it and things like that. So I think that's all I got.
Thanks, Shona.
Yeah.
You also have any
Yep.
questions for you, whether you get grilled as hard as Derek or not? Councilor Kate.
Well, thank you, and through you, Mayor Lennox. Again, I echo what I said to Derek. Thank you for everything that you do and your group.
Thank you.
It's nice to see that you have a number of volunteers that has increased that much.
Yes.
That's fantastic. It's It's a shame that we need stuff like this in our communities, but I'm glad that there's people like you that can do this and volunteer your time and your energy. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'd too like to thank you yourself for the presentation and just providing a little bit of background as to the families and the area that the Arthur Food Bank covers. So thank you for all of your work, to your directors as well.
Thank you.
My question is going to be similar to Derek at the Mount Forest Food Bank.
Mhm.
Do you, in the summertime, do you see or have individuals that help you with the gaps so that you don't have to buy produce? Do you have?
So the Mount Forest Community Gardens, they help us as well. They deliver to us once a week. They bring grocery or fruits and vegetables. We also have local farmers that will just call and bring stuff in, whether it be, you know, corn at that time of the year, you know, things like that. So we do have lots of people that do that. We do get some other things donated. Nature Plus on Highway 9, they donate eggs to us every 2 weeks, I believe it is, for our clients. And we have a lovely couple who donates chicken to our food bank, a local couple, and they donate it every 4 weeks. Yes. Yep.
Ricky?
Through you, Mayor Lennox. Thank you very much for all the work you do for your community. And I'm just wondering, the amount of the cost of the food for 2026 was 28,000. Is that just up until now, current, or is that what you're predicting for the year?
No, that is from January, February, March, and April, the first 4 months of the year.
Wow. That is just amazing, because I can't imagine what the amount will be by the end of the year. So when you have a comparison next year,
Yes.
it's going to be really high. Yeah.
Any other questions? And thank you.
That's
for
it.
the
Thank you.
presentation. Thanks for the work that you do. As Councilor McCabe said, I think we all wish that this wasn't a need in our community, but we're grateful that you're there trying to fill that need.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Hey, we're gonna switch gears completely. Invite DM Ross to come and give us a presentation on the study area regarding drainage. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, when I first got here, I was a little bit concerned that everyone was about the drainage study. So I'm feeling more at ease. So we'll just put it that way. Perfect. All right. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for having me. My name is Isaac DeJager. I work with BM Ross and Associates. I've been there for about 12 years, but since 2023, I've been in Mount Forest at that office. So I'm gaining familiarity with your area and with every project, and especially with this one, looking at the drainage in Mount Forest. So in early 2026, we were asked by township staff to look at drainage in the southeast portion of Mount Forest. And in general, the study area that we were looking at was the area in the urban boundary south of Highway 89 or Queen Street, and east of Highway 6 or Main Street. You can see that in the slide there. And it's shown with the blue boundary, and it's an 83 hectare study area. And with that, we also have to look at anything that flows into that area as well. And there's a lot of that, and that's the red shaded areas. So the red shaded areas are outside of the urban area, but they still contribute to the drainage of the study area. So all in all, it's about 175 hectares. So quite a large area that we're looking at. And we can, we'll go to the next slide, please. So the goals really are pretty simple. It's to use stormwater modeling software to look at this area, assess the township infrastructure, and see how it's performing against the township standards. So, and with that, identify any deficiencies and look at potential solutions to rectify those deficiencies. So what we didn't do absolutely detailed condition assessment of every piece of township infrastructure in that area, but we looked at an overall performance of the system as a whole. When we were on site, we did note some things, and we made mention of those in the memo that we sent to the township staff. But in general, we're looking at just modeling the area and assessing performance, assuming that everything's in good working order. So we do that using a engineering software called PC Swim. Not to bore you, it's just it's an engineering software. We use it to simulate rainfall and runoff and how the water moves its way through the drainage system. And you can use it to check capacities and also run some scenarios and future proposed conditions if you want to see how something would work. So it's really effective that way. Next slide. So we have a few things that we use to make that model. We use aerial imagery. We use topographic data that's publicly available. We go out and survey some key features. And then what we do is we put all that information together and we construct a model of the study area. So we look at drainage boundaries. We look at features like culverts and sewers, ditches, anything like that. And we put it all together and we build a model, and then we use the program to simulate rain on the catchment area, and then we check capacity at for various elements in the model. So our study area, we logically broke it into 6 specific areas. I'm not going to explain all the nuances of each, but we color coded it just for clarity. So I'll highlight a couple of the key ones. The first area is the light purple shaded area. We'll call that area 1. And that's that all of that, at the bottom. The light purple. Yeah, there. Yeah, that one. So that's a pretty big area. It's about 64 hectares, and it all drains towards a culvert at Murphy Park. I'll also highlight area 3. That's the blue shaded area. That's maybe the most interesting one because it's part of the most developed portion of the study area, I guess you could say, the most highly populated area. So that's your Clyde Street, Ayrshire Street, Oxford Street drainage. And then area 5 is the big orange area. And that's the biggest one we looked at. And that all drains towards a culvert that goes underneath Queen Street, just a little bit east of Ayrshire Street. So there's some other smaller areas in there as well. And I'll go through each one very quickly just to give you a bird's eye view of the findings. So we run through a few design storms. They're all based on township standards from the municipal servicing standards. So we run through a 5-year design storm, 10-year, 25, and 100-year. And the rainfall numbers are there. So a 5-year storm is about 54 millimeters, so 2 inches in 6 hours. And then a 100-year storm is 89 millimeters in 6 hours. So those are the storms that we run through the model, and we look at the results and compare them to township standards. So we look at a few criteria to determine whether something's sufficient or performing adequately. Driveway culverts should be able to convey 10-year storm flows without overtopping. Road crossing culverts should be able to convey 25-year storm flows without the road flooding. And then in general, the 100-year storm flows should be able to be conveyed within the right of way without causing any property damage or escaping into neighboring properties or anything like that. So looking at the different areas that I mentioned earlier, area one, which is the what drains towards Murphy Street there, we found that the main culvert there under Murphy Street Park is under capacity, and it's also in very poor condition. So a few things we can do there. Next slide, please. We can look at modeling it a bit more just to verify that conclusion. But assuming that that is the case, it's probably going to be you're probably going to be looking at a replacement of that culvert. You can see the aerial image there. The existing culvert, it's a little bit hard to see. It's a black dashed line that runs from, yeah, that's right through there. It's undersized, it's in poor condition, and probably looking at a replacement of that, and perhaps along the lines of what's shown in that red line there. So again, very high level, but we're just looking at solutions to the deficiencies we noted.
Yes. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No problem.
Would we have any, excuse me, would you have any idea how old that culvert is? Or
That's a really good, that's a really good question. I don't know how old it is, but when we were doing some digging, we found some old aerial imagery from the 50s actually, and it showed there was a culvert there, but it looked like it was an open ditch from the downstream end all the way to the river. And I think at some point that part got filled in, someone just extended it all the way to the river. And I don't know that it was ever sized or resized after that was done. So it's probably pretty old. And one of the things we would recommend is that the township get some camera work done of that pipe and just see what kind of shape it's in. So
thank you.
Yep. Yeah, catchment 2, that's a very small catchment. It's the in that image there, it's the kind of rust colored area that drains to a culvert crossing under the bend in the road at Murphy Street and Glasgow Street, circled by the green circle there. So that culvert is okay, it's sufficiently sized, but there is a lot of erosion at the outlet, so we did note that. And from the outlet all the way to the river, there's really no defined conveyance path. The water just kind of finds its way, and there's actually a trail that runs along the river down there, and it kind of just crosses the trail, but there's no culvert or anything. So that's a bit of an issue there. You could have washouts. So that's something we found there. Next slide. So yeah, we would just recommend repairing the erosion, creating a defined conveyance path to the river, and installing a culvert where it crosses that trail for that location. Area number 3, so that's the blue area I was talking about earlier. That's kind of the most interesting area of this study because it's very highly populated, relatively speaking. So there we found some good, some bad. So the outlet culvert for that entire area is at the bend in the road at Glasgow and Clyde. So it's in the image, it's that green circle. That's where the overall outlet is. And that outlet is sized appropriately, we found. But there's a few other issues in that drainage area as well. There's some driveway culverts that are undersized relative to the standards. And we found that during some significant storm events, flows would actually spill over the road, Clyde Street, from south to north, and they would enter the north ditch. And we also found that north ditch was not very well defined. So there's the potential there for some flows to enter into private property and cause some issues. And we also found a spill along Ayrshire Street where the water would build up under a significant storm event and then spill off to the side into private property. So that's something to get rectified. Next slide. So there's a few things you can do for this area, and we broke it up into 2 broad categories. First is just operations maintenance, and the second is improvements to infrastructure. And that's simply to recognize that the solution doesn't necessarily have to always be just put a bigger pipe in. It could be just maintenance and and operations, and making sure what you do have is optimally operating optimally. So yeah, next slide. In terms of operations and maintenance, we do recommend a monitoring program for this area. So that would be a regular regimented program where staff would review the drainage infrastructure in this catchment. And that could be something like maybe biannually, or especially before a significant rainfall or snow melt event. And they would just go out and check the various culverts and ditches and making sure they're ready to go for when these events happen. Next slide. We'd also recommend simply camera inspecting all the culverts through there, completing any cleaning that's necessary, making sure that any ditching through that area is properly defined, and sometimes the ditches get filled in over time just because of sediment, so making sure that that's done. And then in terms of, yeah, private property upgrades, that's just simply to point out that there are some things that homeowners can do above and beyond what the township is doing it with their own infrastructure that can protect them. Just making sure they have proper swales around their houses and things like that. So we can move on to the next. In terms of infrastructure improvements, we just looked at a couple high-level things. One thing we looked at was a diversion. So the dark blue area you see there, right now, it all flows down Ayrshire Street and to Clyde and then out to the river. But what we could do is look at diverting that to the west. There's an unopened right-of-way along Oxford Street. You could divert that to the west through an open ditch, and then that would be sent out another culvert. And what that would simply do is drastically reduce the overall area that Ayrshire Street and Clyde Street are trying to drain, and it would improve the conditions through there. And yeah, we'll go to the next slide. Another thing we could look at doing is upgrading the culverts along Clyde Street to increase capacity. That could be increasing their size or twinning those culverts. Again, just to increase capacity and prevent some of those spills across the road that I was noting earlier. Yeah, catchment 4. So that's the purple area shown in that image there. So that's Ayrshire Street between Clyde and Queen. And our modeling showed that there was really no issues there, but when we were on site, we did note that there were some issues with the condition of the ditches and the culverts. So we would recommend that ditching improvements are conducted through there and replacement of the driveway culverts through that area as well. Next slide. You can skip that one. Number 5, catchment 5, that's the big orange area in that image. So that's 73 hectares of mostly farm fields. It all ends up flowing through one culvert under Queen Street. It's a 1,200 millimeter diameter culvert, so 4 foot. And we did find that it's sufficiently sized, but there's a lot of erosion at the outlet. So that's something that should be fixed. And we did note also that that's actually within the connecting link portion. So there might be provincial funding available for an upgrade there or for a repair. Yeah, you can skip that one. And then finally, outlet 6, that's the, I guess, teal colored area. In terms of the size of the culvert, we didn't have any issues with that, but it's in poor condition. The end is crushed. So we're looking at a replacement of that one as well, probably. And also, again, that's another one where the flow from that culvert goes across the trail by the river, and we noticed that there was a washout there, so that should be fixed. And yeah, I mentioned that, so we'll go to the next one. So yeah, summary. So we completed some stormwater modeling in the study area, identified some deficiencies. we found some capacity and maintenance deficiencies, and for the very large catchments, we would recommend a little bit more modeling just to further refine our conclusions. But in general, conducting an overall physical condition assessment, including inspecting the condition of any culverts, CCTV inspection, and then routine monitoring and maintenance. Those are all very valuable aspects. And then we did note a few possible infrastructure projects to resolve some of the deficiencies we found. So hope that's hopefully that was clear, but kind of zoomed through it. So if you have any questions, feel free to throw them my way.
Questions or comments from council?
Yep.
I think it's number 3 area, the blue area, the more populated section. You talked about a diversion option, which I assume would then connect with those 2 smaller, one or both of those smaller ones, the rust colored one or the that are adjacent.
You're correct.
In the river.
Yeah.
So if that diversion were to be contemplated, is there enough capacity in those other 2 areas to accommodate that?
Yeah, so that's a really good point. So, and I forgot to mention that. So that would feed into one of those other culverts, and then that culvert would have to be upgraded in size. So, but in a sense, it's good because that was the same location where we noted that there was no defined conveyance from the outlet to the river. So there's some work that needs to be done there anyway. So it would kind of tie in well with that.
And just I could follow up with that too. So in order to facilitate that on the upper end of that catchment area, I assume we would need some berming or something to direct that water to a proposed future channel.
Yeah, so berming, ditch inlets, structures, things like that to force that water to the west instead of to the north. Yeah.
Okay.
Through you, Mayor Lennox, and thank you for this. It's in depth. It's all that was rolling through my head was like a big dig that they've had in other towns. How closely have you been working with the Saugeen or Grand River Conservation?
So as of right now, we haven't been working with them because it's been very high level. So in our memo to the township staff, we did note, in any of the potential projects, we noted, this one would probably need consultation with SVCA or DFO or whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Lennox. I'm sorry, I'm not very technical on all the drainage, but I was wondering, the one that's culvert that's going into the river, and you said it was defective at the end. Does that mean a complete new culvert would have to go there? You'd have to dig up the whole culvert to replace the whole one just because the end is defective?
Okay, so I think you're referring to the very first area that I was talking about through Murphy Park there. So there was actually 2 issues with that. Number one, the end was defective, but also in general, it's just under capacity. So the one issue is really local to the end, but in general, the entire culvert is under capacity. That's what we found. So it's more for the capacity issue that we would require, or we would recommend a replacement. If that makes sense.
And I know you said in the report that the costing would come later with another report, but I'm just wondering if there's any idea of a timeline to replace all of this or to complete the upgrades for them all.
Yeah, I can't answer that in terms of a timeline. It kind of depends, I think, on the township priorities of their projects and nothing that we recommended is really major work. So I wouldn't anticipate huge hurdles in terms of timeline. It just depends on the township priorities with their different projects. Yep.
Tammy has some input on that. Tammy?
Through you, Mayor. So the capital projects would be brought forward to future deliberations for council to consider. So currently, right now, the next steps would be going to Public Information Center to get public feedback from the residents. And then BM Ross would be finalizing their report with recommendations. And then through the winter, this coming winter, 2026, 2027, we would continue to monitor it in hopes that we would have funding for capital projects in 2027 to do some of the upgrades.
There you go.
Questions? Thanks very much.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Trying to get to us, it's a significant area to kind of unpack.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much.
We're going to move the report up.
Thank you.
Report was in our items for consideration that was related to this. And since we have everything fresh, pull that forward and deal with that now. Yeah. Okay, so we have a recommendation here that the Council of Corporation of the Township of Wellington North receive report INF 2026-008, and that the preliminary findings be shared with the property owners within the Mount Forest Southeast drainage study area in order to get feedback on potential recommendations. And further, the staff report back to council in the fall of 2026 with recommendations for consideration, including financial impacts to be included in the 2027 capital budget deliberations. Did I get a mover? Councilor McCabe, seconded by Councilor Burke. Questions, comments? Councilor Burke?
Thank you. So I just want to thank Tammy for putting the report together along with the information from BM Ross. I agree with sharing the preliminary findings with the property owners and the public consultation process to continue. However, I think that we should be looking at some of the operational maintenance that is not a capital item prior to the fall of 2026. The 2026 update to council. I think we should be mitigating some of the concerns that have been addressed by both the residents and through the report, such as the damaged culverts, the erosion, potentially digging of the ditches, and wondered if we could do the CCTV inspections prior to the report coming back. I think there's some valuable information that could also lead to some of those discussions as to which maybe is a higher priority project as opposed to some of the other lesser impacted culverts based on the report. So I'm just wondering if we can look at doing some of that maintenance now to help mitigate some of the issues over in that area and also move up the CT scanning. And I don't know who wants to answer that.
Brooks volunteering.
Through you, Mayor Lennox. So certainly we can look at some of the maintenance matters, whether or not we can do some of that work. We have been implementing a sort of maintenance and monitoring program already, but any of the sort of easier or maintenance related improvements, certainly we can discuss that internally to see if those are things that we could do this year. With the CTV footage, we would be happy to look at that and cost it out. That could be something, again, that we kind of speed up that process if council is interested in getting those results sooner rather than later. That might be something that we can bring forward in the mid-year budget update to council, and we can put estimates to how much that would cost in there. And if we get direction to do that, we can certainly move ahead sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead, Tammy.
Through you, Mayor Lennox. There's also a few challenges as well. We'll definitely consider doing maintenance under the operating budget. However, whenever we're doing ditching of the ditches, we want to make sure that it's ditched properly and to the proper depth to hold the 50 or 100-year storm. We did notice during some recent construction that there are some conflicts with the utilities that are in the ground there, which would have to be either moved or lowered to allow for that ditching process to happen. And then there's also challenges with CCTV as well. With older pipe, it's challenging to get the camera down the pipe if there's broken or displaced pipe joints or if there's a lot of sediment that's in the pipe. I think for a lot of the locations that BM Ross have identified already, we know that they're undersized. We know that there's challenges and problems problems with them that would need to be corrected. So I think if we can tackle some of the easy ones, we'll go with that. And the larger outlet one at Murphy Park, it will be a bigger capital project that we would bring forward.
If I may, thank you for that. I was just thinking that if we could knock off some of the low-lying fruit, if you will, being as we will be sharing how property owners can mitigate some of the water on their property as well, that it would be a good faith item to move forward with some of those smaller things to help improve the water and the drainage over in that area.
Councillor McKay.
Thank you, and through you, Mayor Lennox, I would echo Councillor Burke has said, like I would like to try and get some of these low-lying fruit, excuse me, knocked off or movement on it. I know you all probably walk through it and talk to the residents. Sure, they talk to you or BM Ross. And yeah, the sooner we can get and mitigate some of this stuff, then I think the faster we can do it, all the better for our residents and for the drainage in that area altogether. So look forward to that update mid-year.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Back within the agenda now.
Thank you. Yeah.
First item after Go Canada. And briefly give a county council update. So I was wrestling with what to talk about today. So I know that Councillor Court and Councillor O'Neill routinely talk about the changes in solid waste. And not to be left out, I thought I would add, you may have recall a opportunity was presented to select your cart size for the recycling carts that are coming. And that date has been extended because there was so many requests for changing cart. I was trying to find the date that it's extended to, but was it? Okay. It was extended anyways in response to community requests, so that's good. And so we will be later this summer, people will be receiving their cards for implementation in August. I wanted to follow up on something I mentioned at a previous update. That was I'd mentioned that there was a private company that was offering to support people who would like to develop a home daycare, and I was kind of enthusiastic about that. And then I learned after the fact that the county has a group of staff who actually will do the same thing. So, yep, my bad. But if you know of anybody that wants to, would be interested in setting up a home daycare, you have resources to support that from within the county group, and there is desperate need for more childcare in our community, and not specific to Mount Forest or Arthur, but all across that communities.
Just on that, I don't see there was I'm trying to think of how many thousands it was that were giving back to the province. I think it was almost 800,000.
Yeah, so
underused.
yes, so we have not been able to develop enough childcare spaces with the funding model that the feds in the province have put together to meet the goals that we had. So in Wellington North, we're one of the underserved communities across the county. So yes, there's more need for childcare. And so that money has been given back to the province and the feds. We're assuming we'll be eligible for it in another year to try again, but the idea is that we didn't hit the target. Development of childcare spaces.
And so, yeah, the county can't hold on to that money, it has to give it
It
back.
has to go back and then it'll be reallocated again. But we're still underserved, we're still below the target, and we still have an opportunity to continue to try to fill that gap. Just has not worked as smoothly as we would like. Some would argue that part of the problem is the program design. But let's not point fingers, let's just try to find a way.
Something done.
Yeah, let's try to get some more childcare developed, and there's a crying need. And if you know of anybody, like I said, that is interested in doing a home daycare, we do have supports from within the organization to facilitate. And then just briefly, in the view of modern energy infrastructure at the new county works garage in Arthur, they're looking to install some solar panels there to generate some. Something that is being looked at in more and more places now in terms of an additional way to create some energy. And I think that's the list of things that I wanted to update you on today. Happy to take any questions. Councilor McKay?
With the solar panel, has that gone to tender yet, or is it going to be installed, or?
I don't believe it's gone to tender. There was still some debate about whether the solar panels should be installed on the ground or on the roof. Due to the proximity of some neighboring wildlife, maybe keeping it on the ground where it can be washed more easily might be preferable, but we're still working through that.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. We'll move on forward in the agenda to adoption of minutes. Council and public meeting. So a recommendation here that the Council and Corporation of the Township of Wellington North receive the minutes of the regular council meeting held on June 1st, 2026. Moved by Councilor Rankin, seconded by Councilor Hearn. Any questions or comments on those minutes? All those in favor? That's carried. Okay, we'll move on to the special meeting of council. A recommendation that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Wellington North receive the minutes of the special meeting of council held on June 15th, 2026. Moved by Councilor McCabe, seconded by Councilor Burke. Any question on those comments on those minutes? All those in favor? Carried, thank you. We're on to items for consideration, and we already dealt with one, the infrastructure one. We had one other pulled out. And this is the 15B1, which is the community improvement plan by Forest BIA reimagined laneway. So before we go to that, we'll deal with everything else. And the recommendation to do that is that all items listed under items for consideration on the June 22nd, 2026 council agenda, with the exception of those items identified for separate discussion, be approved and the recommendations therein be adopted. Moved by Councilor Rankin, seconded by Councilor Hearn. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. So we have 15B1. So this is in regard to the community improvement plan, etc. And the recommendation is that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Wellington North receive report RCED 2026-26 on the community improvement plan Mount Forest BIA reimagined laneway and CIP budget allocation increase in 2026. And the council approves the facade improvement grant in the amount of $2,500 to property owner Thomas Meyer, 134 Main Street South, Mount Forest. Facade improvements to the brick wall that abuts the public laneway on the north side with access to municipal parking. And the council approves the facade improvement grant in the amount of $2,500 to property owner Scott Hasty, 144 Main Street South, Mount Forest, for facade improvements to the property's brick wall that abuts the public laneway on the south side, with access to municipal parking. And that council, in order to continue to support local businesses, approve an additional allocation of $25,000 to the community improvement plan in 2026. Could I get a mover and a second? Councillor Burke and Councillor Byrne, thank you. And with that, I'll open up for questions or comments. Councillor McCabe.
I just have a quick comment. I think it's great that this is coming to fruition. I know Councillor Burke has been pushing on this as well. It's nice to see that it's going to be reimagined, and the I guess you could call it the site plan looks pretty nice, and I can't wait to see it.
Any other questions or comments? Councillor Burke.
I'd just like to add that the facade improvements have already started, and I also seen over the weekend that Malcolm's been in there and has some lines painted for the construction of the laneway, so it is well underway.
Any other questions or comments? Councillor Rankin.
Through you, Mayor Lennox, I'd just like to add that the last recommendation for allocating an additional $25,000 to the community improvement plan for 2026, I think it would improve the main street of our town, and I'm quite in favor of going ahead and doing that.
Any other, any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you. That brings us to go to motion. Any other motions this evening? Sorry. Seeing none. Community group meeting report. Does anybody wish to report on anything from a community group? Councillor McCabe.
Thank you. Through you, I think probably everyone got the email from Nelson Mann. The people gates are up at the community garden now. If you haven't been up to see it, it's obviously a really nice job that was done on it. They're getting ready for a great season this year to start growing. So it's really nice to have that in our back pocket, and that they can help the food banks in Arthur and in Mount Forest as well.
Anybody else have it? Councillor Hearn?
Yeah, I have a couple of things. On Friday, I did attend the emergency control group meeting that was at the township, and on Friday, I do have a GRCA meeting down in Cambridge. But this morning was really cool, and kind of why my day ran so late that I ended up having to work late. But I was out at Luther Marsh this morning with Minister McCarthy and Deputy Premier Jones. So we had a nice spot overlooking Luther Lake, and you may have heard that there was an announcement about $3.1 million in funding for wetlands and flood protection. So it was a nice morning. Minister McCarthy was very late, so we didn't get started till late, but the ducks were on cue. Luther Marsh was beautiful as ever, and thank you to the mayor for reminding me to pack insect repellent.
That's the right.
Okay. Thank you. Through you, Mayor Lennox, for the cultural roundtable. On the community website now for the township, there's a volunteer page listing all the organizations that are available to help join and maybe get involved with. And if you're looking for one that you need the service from, it's there. Also, the cultural moments have been very well received that are on the website. And there's a new one that's there called the Artisan Directory, but it's not under the township website. It's under simply explore.ca, and it lists the different artisans that are local. We have a lot of talent in our area. It's not quite finished yet. There'll probably be a lot more that can be put there, but it's a good start.
Councilor.
Yeah, so just a couple of things. The Mount Forest Fireworks Festival Committee is still looking for volunteers for the weekend. So either contact the chamber or Joe Wetloffer. I don't have his contact information, but so looking for volunteers for that. And was also at Wellington Heights commencement on Friday night, and it was very well attended. And I think our future is in good hands with many of the young folks that received an array of awards. It was just a really good night.
Anything else anybody would like to report on? Okay, brings us to bylaws. We have 3 bylaws this evening. And the recommendation is that bylaw number 49-2026, 50-2026, and 51-2026 be read and passed. Moved by Councilor Cage, seconded by Councilor Rankin. Any discussion on those? Favor? Great, thank you. Cultural moments, speaking of those, we have another interesting one tonight, I'm sure.
The Wellington North Cultural Roundtable presents a cultural moment, the murder at the station. July 12th was one of the most anticipated days of the year across Wellington County. Marked by Orangemen's parades, speeches, and community gatherings, it brought people together from surrounding townships, especially in Arthur, a hub of Orange Order activity. With the arrival of the railway in 1871, the celebration grew even larger, drawing visitors by train and filling local streets and businesses with activity. These were spirited events, part celebration, part social occasion. By the 1870s, the day often unfolded with parades winding through the village, punctuated by stops and speeches and accompanied by no small amount of drinking. But on July 12, 1872, the day took a tragic turn. As evening approached, a group of Orangemen, described as a little worse for wear after a day of celebrations, traveled by wagon past the Arthur railway station. At the same time, an evening train from Orangeville had arrived, and a small crowd gathered on the platform. Amid the noise and movement, an argument broke out involving William Ludlow, one of the celebrants. The confrontation appears to have begun earlier, when Ludlow was accidentally struck by a piece of firewood tossed by railway workers as they refueled the locomotive. What followed was a heated exchange of words that escalated as the evening wore on. Then, as the train began to pull away, 3 gunshots rang out. One of the bullets struck David Hunter, a young carpenter traveling through the area. He had not come to Arthur for the celebrations and had no connection to the dispute. Like others nearby, he had simply paused to see what the noise was about. Within minutes, he was dead. The incident shocked the community. Authorities quickly launched an investigation, leading to the arrest of William Ludlow and James Moore. A coroner's inquiry heard from numerous witnesses, some of whom claimed to have seen Ludlow fire the shots. Yet even in those early accounts, details varied. By the time the case had reached trial months later, the uncertainty had deepened. Witnesses disagreed on critical points: where the shots were fired from, who had fired them, and even how many people may have been involved. Testimony suggested multiple possibilities: that Ludlow was responsible, that Moore had fired the weapon, or even that another individual was involved entirely. In the end, the jury found William Ludlow not guilty after a brief deliberation. Charges against James Moore were later dropped. No weapon was definitively linked to either man, and no clear motive was established. The case closed without resolution. More than 150 years later, the question remained unanswered. Who fired the fatal shots at the Arthur station that night? The truth slipped away that night, just like the train that left the station.
It's all a conspiracy. Okay. Just draw your attention to upcoming meetings, notices, etc. So farmers market is active again on Saturdays from 8 to noon. Our next regular council meeting is Monday the 13th of July at 2. Mount Forest BIA meets the 14th at 8 in the morning. Mount Forest Chamber date hasn't been established yet. And the Arthur Chamber meets July 15th. And Arthur BAI also meets July 15th. That we'll move to our confirming bylaw. And that means the bylaw number 52-2026 being a bylaw confirming proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Wellington North at its regular council meeting held on June 22nd, 2026 be read and passed. Moved by Councilor Burke, seconded by Councilor McCabe. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. And finally, to adjournment, the recommendation that the regular council meeting of June 22nd, 2026 be adjourned at 8:28 p.m. Moved by Rankin, seconded by Councilor Hearn. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you very much, everybody. Another one of the books.